Welcome into another video. We are about 20 minutes post Bears Packers game where the Green Bay Packers defeated my Chicago Bears 28-21 in just an absolute thriller. Really. I mean, that's exactly what, let's just get it out of the way. That's exactly what you want in a rivalry game like that. To go out there, take the lead in week 14 on the NFC North, a historic rivalry, arguably the greatest rivalry in the NFL. I'm a little bit biased. I think it's the greatest rivalry in the NFL, and you get that kind of game. It's exactly what Fox was looking for. It's exactly what the NFL was looking for, and it's exactly what Packer fans were looking for. Obviously, the outcome of the game is not ideal as a Bears fan, but I just thought it was a beautiful game. I'm very proud of the way the Chicago Bears played today. The first half was really ugly, but the Bears really put it together in the second half. They made the adjustments that they needed to, and they just fell a little bit short, and it came down to the wire. And you get a game sealing pick there by Keyshawn Nixon on Caleb Williams. It's a tough one. It's a tough way to go out, because what you've seen from that first half with the Bears offense was something spectacular. Ben Johnson really started diving into his bag. I'm gonna get some stats up here. I mean, Caleb Williams finished with 32 yards in the first half, and he was 4 for 12. He finished 19 for 35 with 186 yards, 2 touchdowns, and then the interception. Jordan Love had a really good game. Just some quick takeaways. I mean, you guys probably can't see Love here. Let me get me adjusted here real quick. Nice and easy for you guys right now. There we go. Now you guys can see the whole screen here. I mean, just a really good game. I thought the Bears ran the ball pretty well today. Would have liked to see them maybe have some more run game scenarios. And then you got the Packers. I thought they really put it together offensively. And I got some bitches and some complaints. So I guess we'll just go ahead and start with that way. With the Bears defense, obviously we know all year long the Bears can't generate pressure. They do not have a good defensive line. Montez Sweat is really kind of their only bright spot. I think that this team will spend this offseason going full in the draft, probably in free agency. I think we're going to start to see that defensive line reshaped. I wouldn't be surprised if they, find a way out with Grady Jarrett, Dio Adenabo. I don't know what his contract situation is looking like. I'm pretty sure he has an out after his second year in his contract, but they're going to do whatever they can to probably only keep around 3 guys. And right now I'd say Andrew Billings is worthy of sticking around on these goal line and short yardage situations. I think he's a bright spot, a cheap bright spot. Montez Sweat, I don't think he's a number 1 pass rusher in this league, but I think he could be a very good number 2. Maybe the 1B to somebody else 1A on this defensive line. And then Austin Booker continues to show promise in year 2, despite only being a 5th round pick. Outside of that, the rest of the defensive line can go. Also, a big complaint of mine defensively today, Jordan Love isn't some second-year rookie. Jordan Love's a good football player. He's a good quarterback. I don't know why, for some reason, on 3rd and short, we're firing up zeros, when we're lined up against track stars. Christian Watson, burner. Jaden Reed's a burner. Dobbs has got a gear to him. What are we doing? What are we doing there? It blew my mind. I think that was the worst defensive play call I've seen this year. They're getting beat inside all day by these receivers. And on 3rd and short, you draw up a zero blitz on Jordan Love, who's a vet. You're just risking one-on-ones with Byard over the top, and he's got to play the deep out, or the deep by on the short side with Dobbs. That's cooked. Watson's gonna burn him all day one-on-one. There's nothing that Chauncey Gardner-Johnson could do. He just cannot stick with them. That's just coaching malpractice. I've liked what Dennis Allen has done this year. I think he's had been very creative at finding ways to take the ball away. Get stops on 3rd down, generate pressure when he knows that his defensive line can't do it. But I think in that moment right there, you're going up against Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love. This isn't somebody else on the other side of the ball. This isn't Mason Rudolph on the other side of the ball. You can't dial that up. That was a terrible play call, and led to a huge score for the Green Bay Packers. Which, I mean, we lost the game. I wouldn't say that's the reason we lost the game. There's multiple things that cost us this game. The injuries are piling up, man. They've got to do something. Kyler Gordon getting hurt in pregame warmups. We got to take a long, extensive look, because he is on a nice contract. Not necessarily an insanely expensive one, but for what he's being put out there, He's been hurt 3 times this year in pregame warmups. This is his 3rd groin injury. We are not going to watch Kyler Gordon play football again this year. I guarantee it. I don't think there is any chance in hell that he gets put on that field the rest of this year in any way, shape, or form. Let's go ahead and work our way over to the Bears offense. The box score watchers, they can say and do as they please in the first half. That was just you're just getting outworked. The pressure was getting through. The blitzes were getting through. There was nothing that they could do. There was nothing that you could do at all. They have a great defense up front. They have a great defense. The pressure was getting through. You could not get the passing game going in any way, shape, or form. You find yourself down 14-3. Ben Johnson, I thought, had a phenomenal second half. Caleb Williams, I thought, had a phenomenal second half. I thought they both really turned it on. I liked how Johnson kind of flipped the script. Normally, when you're in an offense, when you're starting a game, you want to establish a run. That's what they always say. Establish the run so the play action opens up. Ben kind of flipped that around in the second half, started to get Caleb on the move because he knows that there's too much going on with this defensive line. He's running a lot of play action. Now they're getting tired. They're getting these shots down the field. Then they establish a run, kind of a complete flip of what you would normally see an offensive mind do. They started rolling with the play action. Caleb was, I thought, electric in that second half, outside of the obvious pick, which we can, I guess, talk about in a little bit here. But I thought Caleb Williams was electric in the second half. I thought everything that you've seen from him in the second half, other than that interception, is what they drafted him number 1 overall to be. I mean, he was dealing, and that is a good defensive front. That's a good defense in general. Hafley's a genius. They have nothing but players. That is, I thought I was so proud of just the way the offense responded in that second half and the way that Caleb Williams played in that second half. I think there's nothing more. You couldn't walk away from that game after seeing that second half and be too disappointed. We gotta understand, we're Bears fans. It's been tough. It's been a tough couple of years, and normally that's a team you're down 14-3. You're rolling over. You're rolling over. How many times have we seen this Bears team down multiple scores going into the second half, and they just continue to pile on? No, man. This coaching staff, they get out there, immediate defensive stop, go down there, score a touchdown. Like, that is exactly what you want. Like, that, this coaching staff means so much to this franchise, that they got these guys just willing to go and fight to the finish. Like, we don't see that. We haven't seen that. Matt Eberflus's guys, man, they would roll over. I know they played them tight last year, but, man, we got spanked by the Packers a couple times. I mean, back in the old days, man, we would get rolled by the Packers nonstop. Today was a competitive game. They really came out in the second half, and they showed that they were worthy of hanging with this team. They were worthy of being right there with the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field in 6-degree weather. They deserve praise, and I know Packer fans, they won't maybe not want to give them their flowers, but the Chicago Bears, in my opinion, deserve some praise because they could have rolled over. The coaching staff deserves some praise, and the beautiful thing about it is we get to see them in 2 weeks in Chicago, in primetime, Saturday night game. You get to see them in 2 weeks. This was what it was always about. I didn't think the Bears were going to win today's game. Not in any way, shape, or form. 100%. I said Packers are going to win this game. I thought it was going to be 24-20. I thought it was going to be a tight game. And what the outcome of today is, exactly what I asked for. I wanted to win, but being from a realist and a realistic standpoint, I just wanted them to play them tight. I knew going into Lambeau Field would be tough. Just show that you compete with these guys, and then we'll see what happens in 2 weeks. Get a look at them, see what happens, see what works, see what doesn't, and then let's see what happens in 2 weeks. That's where it's going to come down to the wire. You got Cleveland next week, and you got Green Bay right after that. They got the Broncos next week in Denver, one of the hardest places to play. They go out there and they lose to the Broncos next week, and we beat the Cleveland Browns next week. We're right back on top of the NFC North, and they got to come to our house for a much even bigger game to the rights to, in my opinion, maybe go on and win the NFC North in 2 weeks. So you just got to go out there next weekend against the Cleveland Browns, handle your business, root for the Broncos. Don't really matter, but root for them, and go out there and beat the Green Bay Packers. That game in 2 weeks is even more important. It may sound cheap for me to say, and you might be thinking like, oh, he's a petty Bears fan, but just looking at it from, in my opinion, is a realistic standpoint, the pressure was on Green Bay today. This is the team that was all in. This is the team that went out and got Micah Parsons. They're trailing in the NFC North now. They got the Bears at home. Then they got to go to Denver next week. Then they got to go to Chicago the week after that. They lose today to Chicago, and you're staring down the barrel at the Denver Broncos, the 11-2 Denver Broncos, and then back to Chicago, next 2 games on the road. That's scary. That's scary. And when the pressure was on, the Packers came through. They did. Now they're on top of the NFC North, and you guys see what they do in 2 weeks. I think this was just great for the NFL. It was great for the rivalry. Overall, I'm impressed with what I saw from the Chicago Bears today, especially in the second half. The first half, they really had no answer for the pressure, and the Packers were just dicing up the defense. I thought both units really took a big step in the second half and showed that, hey, we can hang with you. We can hang with you. And it's going to be very interesting to see what happens in 2 weeks in Chicago on Saturday night. Thank you guys so much for tuning into another video. We are 2 days away from Tuesday, which is Dynasty Day and my Power Rankings Day. I'm going to have another video later for you guys this week. Thanks so much for tuning into another video. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.